Hello, welcome to the Modern Musclehead Podcast. This is Scott Tousignant of MetabolicMasterpiece.com, along with Bryan Krahn of BryanKrahn.com. Today we are talking about going from lean to ripped. There's a definite difference between going from looking a little soft to lean and getting in good shape, kind of beach body shape, and going from that beach body shape to photo shoot ready physique, maybe even contest. Contest physique is a whole new beast, but not all that far off from a photo shoot physique. But today we're going to kind of talk about little nuances that have to take place in order for you to go from lean to ripped. A lot of people aren't really prepared for it, and a lot of people kind of scour the internet, and you can really see two different camps out there. And having competed myself, I see backstage the people who look like absolute death because in order to go from lean to ripped, all they're eating is tilapia and broccoli. They're doing hours and hours of cardio a day, trying to get their weight training in as well. And it's just really fucking them up, and they look like shit. And then you got the other happy-go-lucky camp who says, oh, you should never feel deprived, and you should enjoy all your favorite foods and lose weight at the same time. So there's two extremes, and I just shake my head at both of them. I even wonder if that happy-go-lucky crowd, has ever been really lean and seen what it takes to get to that level. And then the other crowd who is too extreme, it might just be all they know. It's all they hear about. It's the suffering that goes on in order to step on stage and compete. And it's almost like a badge of honor they wear sometimes, that, oh, I'm getting ready to compete. It's grueling, and make it sound like I'm doing what no one else can do, but you don't have to take it to that extreme either. What are your initial thoughts on going from lean to ripped?
Well, I think you summed it up perfectly. It's a completely different animal. I mean, from the outside looking in, it's just a continuation of, getting ripped is just a continuation of getting lean, like when you look at it from the outside. But once you're actually in the mix, man, there is so much more going on. Like, that's why I kind of roll my eyes at a lot of internet advice, because you get all this like really happy, positive stuff like that you mentioned, like, oh, you can have all your favorite foods and everything in moderation, and oh, you can have a cheat day once, and all this stuff. And you can totally do that and get lean. Absolutely. Especially if you've got no underlying metabolic issues, and like, you can totally do that and get lean. But to do that and get ripped, I don't think so. Like, some people maybe, but they probably grew up with nicknames like Flex, so
That's right.
Like, for the average, especially the first time getting ripped, like, frick, that's the hardest. And you're going to have to do things that just frankly, they're not sustainable from a lifestyle perspective. They're not dangerous or unhealthy. They're just not sustainable. Like, you're going to be depriving yourself. You're going to be feeling hungry more. You're going to learn. Ideally, you're going to learn to like seek out that feeling of hunger, and you're like, oh, okay, now I'm like, now stuff's kind of happening, and but again, this is all to go from lean to ripped. You don't really have to do all that just to get lean. You can have you can have your cake literally and eat it too, and get pretty lean. But
it's a whole new experience, and the first go around, you just don't know what to expect. It really is. It's a shock. It's a shock, and the leaner you get, you may hear people talk about it, but you don't know until you actually experience your body kind of fighting against you. It doesn't want to get that lean, and it certainly doesn't want to sustain that level. And we're talking shreds, like, we're talking crazy. It doesn't want to sustain that. You can sustain a great looking lean beach body. You could have six-pack abs, no problem. But to get crazy ripped six-pack abs with veins and all that stuff going, chances are it's not going to be sustainable for the long term, and your body's just not going to want you to hold on to it. And it does fucking crazy things to your mind. I hear it from many other competitors. Kind of experienced a little bit of it myself. It sends you signals that it's doing everything it can to get you to eat more and get some body fat on me here.
Oh, dude, I think I alluded to it in our last podcast. I went through that exact thing, like just a week or two ago. Just going about my diet. Now my diet's kind of getting towards the end is in sight. I'm not like near the end, but I can see it. And then, everything's going tickety boo. And then all of a sudden I get a bunch of work stress and personal stress and yada, yada. And then all those survival cues kind of come up, like eat more, just relax more, and it's just amazing. And then I was cognizant of it at the time too. And I was just like, wow, the body is fucking clever. It just really wants to protect you. And it just really wants to calm you down and keep you healthy. So, I don't wish people to discover it that way, but it's just when you're going through this diet and it's starting to get really, really hard, your body just stops playing ball, man. It's just like, and you have to, you got to listen to it, and you also have to ignore it, and you have to fight through some shit, and just, that's actually where, coaching, plug, coaching is really helpful, but it's, even then, it's a very difficult process. I just wish more people would understand that it's just not doing what got you lean, much, much longer. I mean, it's part of it, but it's a whole different animal.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And we've talked about intuitive eating and auto-regulation with our training. That comes with experience. So if you've been at it for a while and you've gone through several cuts, you start to know what to expect. If you've never been through it before, it certainly helps, first of all, to have that heightened sense of awareness, taking notes, like have a journal of the whole process so you understand what the heck's going on and what to expect the next time. But definitely a coach can definitely help you kind of filter through those signals there. Because being intuitive and saying, oh, my body's really freaking hungry. Like normally when I'm going from somewhat soft to lean, that's a signal that, I probably could use a refeed right now. But lean to ripped, when I get that signal, sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean I need a refeed. It's basically telling me if I eat like crazy all the freaking time so you get some fat, and you don't want to be here right now. So when I know my end goal is to get crazy shred, I got to kind of fight those intuitive feelings. But I listen to them. Like I am aware of those feelings, those emotions that are going on, and I know I'm expecting it, and I know how to handle it now that I've been through it before, and it certainly helps. I mean, you and I both right now, we're lean. I'd say we're really lean, on the verge of ripped and shredded, looking really good, getting photo shoot ripped. So we're in this zone right now, and I've noticed it myself. I actually been talking about it throughout the week, how I've really got to step up my game right now and dial things in, because what I've been doing to get myself lean to look the way I am right now isn't working anymore. Like you and I, we pride ourselves on enjoying we have a great social life. We're not afraid to go out boozing with the guys and have treats here and there. We'll make up for it, and it's easy to kind of make up for it when you're just trying to get lean. But right now I'm realizing that when my goal is to get ripped, I find that if I keep up that kind of flexible dieting, I'm basically just keeping a level playing field. I'm just staying right where I'm at. So in order to kind of take it to that next level, I've got to be more meticulous with my tracking. I've got to be fully aware of my numbers and stay right where I'm at. Because I've been kind of all over the place. That's all going to work out at the end of the week. I'm like, no, I've got to be as steady as can be. I'm really trying to keep my caloric target the same most days of the week, like 6 days for sure. One slight little refeed, and my refeed's got to be fully controlled. Like I find I can't allow myself to get any higher than maintenance, and I really try to keep it 100 calories below maintenance. So I'm always kind of in a deficit, but a slight deficit on my refeed day. At least my body's feeling I'm getting more fuel, and it's enough calories, enough food volume where I can continue on throughout the journey. So just a lot more meticulous with my tracking, where like going from soft to really lean, I could be compliant like 85% of the time, and 15% of the time I can have some booze, I can eat some junk food, be flexible, and I'll get lean that way. I find the closer I'm getting to crazy freaking ripped and shredded, I've got to be right around that 95% compliance. Which really, in the big picture, some people may look at it and they go, well, geez, that's not very flexible at all. But if you're consuming 2,000 calories a day, you're looking at 500 calories a day. I mean, 500. 50 calories a day, 100 calories a day that you could consume a treat. And so if you save it, if you don't need a treat every single day, you could save those 100 calories a day for a nice treat meal on your refeed day. You could have 700 calorie treat on your 7th day and still stay within a deficit. So it's really not all that challenging. It still feels flexible to me. If I want to have a small snack, 100 calories, looking at close to 2 cookies, depending on the type of cookie. And it might be, if you need a treat every single day, you could have a small treat every single day. A little handful of different crackers or something. There's snacks out there that you can enjoy that are 100 calories if you need something every day, or you can bank those 5% calories for the end of the week. So I find it's not all that hard, but I definitely find I need to be in that place when I'm dying, when I'm getting ripped, especially when you get that mind fuck going on there and your body is fighting against you. If you allow yourself treats, if you're thinking you're flexible dieting and stuff and you have something, it can really trigger those emotions and get you really fuck with your head. So I try to keep it to 95%.
Yeah, I really I try to coach 2 things in people. Like number one is just I teach them that there's never an all or nothing, and I call it off bucket syndrome. And that's when you're going about your diet and then you have one slip up, whatever, you eat a handful of cashews, I don't know. And then you're like, oh, fuck it, I've blown my calories for the day. I might as well just write this day off and just, eat my lungs out. And just, if you kind of realize that, like what you were saying, that, everything works like on a 7-day aggregate, really, then, you would have probably just stopped at that handful of cashews and just went, oh, okay, well, maybe tomorrow, I'll cut my fats back a bit, and then it all would have come out in the wash. So I try to teach people that they have this overarching control here, and that they never have to go, you sneak something and you're like, oh my God, I've just completely destroyed my diet. I might as well just refeed the next 7 days,
Right.
If you just kind of, you have a little slip up, okay, you stop, you regain control, and it all comes out. Maybe tomorrow you eat 10% less, or even the next day you eat 10%, whatever. So I try to teach that, but also different personality types, especially when like these survival cues start to churn up, which doesn't really happen when you're getting lean, but sure as shit happens when you're trying to get ripped. And if you have, for some people, and I'll put myself in this camp, if you have a little bit of something, it might as well be like, I don't know, like a little snort of cocaine. You might as well, it's just, you're starting on the whole path, man.
Yeah.
It just, it can trigger overeating, and you just got to know yourself. And that there's just no shame in saying, like, fuck, if I start eating that, man, I'm gonna destroy the whole, if it's a pie or whatever, if I have one slice, I can eat the whole damn pie. I'm just gonna wait till I'm gonna wait until I'm done this freaking diet, And I think, some people would say, oh, that's unhealthy. You're creating an unhealthy relationship with food. I'm saying, well, fuck you, man. I'm being practical. I'm being pragmatic.
Right.
Why do I got to make everything a fucking test of my willpower?
Right.
I'm married. Like, I'm fucking married. That's enough of a test. Like, come on, man. Like, I got to turn my diet into a test. Like, come on. I mean, I just think it's silly. Certain people, it's just more pragmatic just to not have that, especially when we're not talking when someone's like, we're talking like you're getting close to the nitty gritty here.
Right.
And it's much better to kind of know yourself.
Yeah. So when you're close to your goal, if you think one slice is going to cause you to binge, well, fuck, you just delayed your goal date a little bit further. So why not avoid it right now? And
totally.
Yeah. In 3 weeks, you can have that pie and achieve your goal rather than putting it off and suffering for another 2 weeks after that to kind of make up for the binge. Yeah. So all big picture perspective for sure.
And there's just nothing wrong with saying, you know what, man, if I start to have a little bit of that, I will destroy, I'll eat 10,000 calories. So, man, I'm just going to I'm going to satisfy my sweet tooth with, I don't know, something like, maybe some frozen berries or something, or whatever, something a little bit more, less, binge inducing, My way of saying, I can't have peanut butter in my freaking house, man.
Right.
At this stage, it's out of the house. And my wife keeps bringing it home. And it's just like, we have this, anyway. That's
hide that shit.
Hide that shit, man.
Yeah. So I mean, So that's pretty much. I'd say that kind of sums up the nutrition there, and I'd say we touched a little bit on cardio earlier, and it's. This is going from lean to ripped. It's a stress on your body, like we're talking about. It's your body is fighting it, and I think when you're getting to this point, you got to do everything you possibly can to manage recovery and stress. And I think it's at a point where a lot of people really fucking crank up the cardio like crazy. And I think that can really fight against you. I think you need to kind of find your sweet spot. If you're finding daily cardio is working, I think that's where the low intensity stuff really, really comes in handy for myself. Totally. I love the walking. If you're going to include HIIT, keep it short and very infrequent. If you can get it in like once a week, maybe twice a week at the most.
Oh, no.
But like low intensity or moderate intensity is good, and I try to do as little as possible. If it's low intensity, you can do it freaking daily. And I find for myself, it's a great stress relief. Walking my dog, it's a stress relief. I'm very in tune with myself. It puts me in a good, happy place. So I enjoy doing that. It burns some calories, keeps me active, keeps me moving. I'd rather just be on my feet more, fidgeting around and staying busy that way rather than forcing myself to do cardio, getting on the stair climber, doing all that kind of stuff that I'm kind of dreading and feeling, I gotta go on the stair climber and I gotta burn off this fat. To me, that stresses me out and can kind of fight you in this process. And the last thing, the most important thing for managing recovery would be sleep. And I know I hear from a lot of guys when they're getting really lean, it kind of interferes with their sleep. So you really got to do everything in your power to kind of manage that, whether it's through some supplementation, to some sleep aids, really like getting away from the computer and any kind of stimulation, the TV. Turn that shit off well before you go to bed, and really just kind of get into to a practice that will help you sleep better at night, because it will definitely it'll help you through this process. It'll have a bigger impact on your results, I think, than trying to wake up early in the fucking morning before the roosters crow to get your cardio. And I think you gotta be really smart with your sleep recovery with all your training. Yeah,
I'm a huge fan and just low intensity walking. I mean, I try to do a little bit of HIIT, not HIIT. I rarely do HIIT. The HIIT is great, like in the off season,
right?
When you're not just when your programming is built around such a goal, like, and I think that's the problem, is that people don't really understand programming and they try to do everything at once and they think, I'll throw a little bit of this in here, I'll throw a little bit of that, and they're overtaxing the body and they're confusing their goals, and it's as I always say, you want all your kind of sails pointed in one direction. So I love it at this stage of a diet, and thank God it finally warmed up. I go for long walks in the morning, and it's sunny, it's yada yada. It doesn't feel draining.
Yep.
And it's almost restorative. I enjoy it. I look forward to it. But I wouldn't do it all year. Or if I would, I wouldn't like plan it all year like this, like every day. Like, you want to use these things as needed, like they're tools in the toolbox. And and HIIT is just not one of those tools I would use right now. I mean, some people do it, but I think you're just begging yourself to run yourself into the ground.
100%. It's demanding. It's tough to recover from your workouts when you're including HIIT in there. I don't care how effective HIIT is, when you're going from lean to ripped, it can definitely run you into the ground. You got to be smart for sure.
Well, it's the same thing as training super heavy when you're this depleted. You're just gonna have a shitty HIIT session.
Yeah.
Your legs are gonna feel like 1,000,000 pounds. Your times are gonna be terrible, and you're gonna be like, okay, well, that was fun, And then you add all the other stuff, like you're wearing down, you're breaking down muscle tissue, and you're often it triggers a lot of hunger in people, like enormous hunger, much more so than steady state. So I mean, it's just, for me, it's just. That would be like I'd never play that card, to be perfectly honest, with someone.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, like, as a teenager in the gym, every bodybuilder I saw getting ready for contest prep, especially in the wintertime, was on a treadmill, walking on a slight incline, not killing themselves, but working it. And it kind of almost looks silly, and people are like, what are they doing walking on a treadmill or whatever?
Walking.
Yeah. But that's what they did, and now I freaking realize it's really the best thing for you when you're in that state. What do you know? Freaking bodybuilders know how to get ripped? What the fuck? Yeah. Holy shit. I don't know. Bro science. Holy crap.
Yeah. People went offline a little bit more and actually, looked at what these people who've been getting ripped for fucking century have been doing. Like, there's a lot of clues there that you can follow.
100%.
I mean, whatever. What do I know?
just what our fellow bros know, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh
well.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty solid. It is different. So just understand that getting lean, it's work, it's effort, it takes focus. Going from lean to ripped it's a different beast. And if you haven't experienced it before, definitely having a coach to guide you along the way to help you listen to those cues. And decipher it all, and just have a plan in place, a structured plan to even take the stress away from you. Having a plan written out for you, nutrition guidance, just that little bit of support can really put you at ease and make this process a hell of a lot smarter. I'm going to fight Bryan and I, both coaching clients. Don't go to him. What the hell?
Don't.
He's a ripped freaking beast. I don't know what he could possibly know about getting ripped. But yeah, definitely hire a coach if it's your first time around. And just understand that, I'm still learning. Each photo shoot I do, each bodybuilding contest I do, I learn something new each time. There's it's a different experience. But you always pull something away from it, and can always use the experience from the past experience to help guide you along the way.
Yeah, every successive time it gets easier, and I think it's honestly just because you've been there before, and you start to recognize these horribly stressful cues and this discomfort you're putting yourself through, and it should be a little bit uncomfortable after 100%. A while. I hate to break it to people, but you start to get cool with that, and then every time you do this, and certainly there's a physiological. I think the more lean you get, I think the body almost remembers being that lean. It just gets easier each time. Mm-hmm. But I just think a big part of it too is just mentally. You get accustomed to these feelings of deprivation, and just like at some point I'm going to release some of the emails that I get from people who are going about this process, because it's always, oh, my clothes don't fit right. Oh, I'm tired all the time. Like, oh, I'm getting weak. And I'm like, this is good. Like, this is good. Means things are happening.
Right.
It's just like, it's a process, man. And you have to learn how to deal with these kind of stressors and keep focused on the bigger picture. Yeah.
You're definitely, with fewer calories you're consuming in a deficit, you are going to be a little hungry at night. Sometimes you're going to be really hungry at night, especially when you get close to the end. You're going to be hungry. It's the way it is. And like we've said, some of it is your body fighting against you, and some of it is because you're in a freaking deficit. You should be deprived. That's deprivation. You're not giving your body enough calories to sustain it.
Yeah.
You're only fueling it with enough where it's going to be burning some of your physique up. It's the whole point. So if someone says you should never feel deprived during a cut, especially going from lean to rip, that's nonsense, because it is deprivation in and of itself. So it is a challenge, but you learn to embrace that challenge. And some people look at that hunger as that feeling of hunger as a fat melting from my body or whatever. You kind of play. Yeah. You got to do mental fucking tricks with yourself to kind of get yourself through that feeling. But you get to the point where like, this is good. But some people kind of thrive off that feeling too. You got to be careful to.
That's an awesome point, man. That like a lot of the stuff that people make fun of, like you can never feel deprived, and like a lot of these little things that I'll say we do, like turning it into a game, and like even I posting pictures on your refrigerator of your so when you go to eat you see this here, or your contest date or whatever. All these little very childish, admittedly, very very superficial childish mind games. This is when they're valuable, because you're like you are starving yourself. Like you're at your base. Your body is like, fuck this. It will do anything to get you to eat. So you have to like get over yourself. You're not that smart. You're not that evolved. You have to kind of go with these kind of, I'll call them childish things to keep yourself on task, whether it's locking all your food away or, having your spouse hide food. If you have to do these things, then do them. Like just own it, own that. Okay, this is where I'm kind of weak, and just, stop trying to make it like, oh, I'm above this. You're not above hunger, man.
So true. True. Awesome, man.
Yeah. Boom.
That's a wrap. Hope you guys gain some insights from this conversation here. We'd love to hear your feedback. Drop us some comments down below. Let us know the struggles that you faced. Any successful, if you have a little game like we were talking about here that's helped you get over those mental hurdles, share it with us below. Share your experiences with us. That's what this is all about. Once again, thanks for watching. Modern Musclehead Podcast here. Visit bryankrahn.com, metabolicmasterpiece.com. Catch you for the next episode.
Kaboom!